Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. It's Lane here with MetaShackle. Today I'm going to be taking a quick look at XRP as well as some of the other ISO-20022 tokens, as there's some very interesting developments on some of the charts. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into the video. For additional information and exclusive perks, do consider joining me and the rest of our community on Patreon. First off, taking a look at XLM, we can see that it has a very similar chart to what we're seeing in XRP, with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave Elliott wave move, of which it looks to be on the fifth wave of this move, similar to XRP. It is trading below the equilibrium line in the center, the equilibrium zone, very close to it, but there's also a potential bullish divergence forming right here on the charts, as you can see, which could act as another point of confluence in regard to this fifth wave of the Elliott wave, pointing to the fact that this could be a point of reversal that we're looking at right here. We definitely want to get back up above the equilibrium line and outside and up and above the equilibrium zone, but there is a bearish order block sitting right here centered at about 47 cents that's not going to be the easiest target to get through, but if we can get through that, getting up above this upper trend line, it could be a very good thing for XLM. But overall, the chart looks very interesting. It's certainly not the strongest chart on Earth, but I really like what we're seeing here with this fifth wave, as well as this potential bullish divergence. Taking a look at the ADA chart, you can see that the price has been trading in this ascending wedge pattern right here, to which it broke below the lower trend line in this area right here, and has been flirting right in the area of the equilibrium line in the center of the equilibrium zone, even though it is now trading slightly above it. ADA also has a potential bullish divergence forming right here outlined by this orange line, which could also be pointing to a potential reversal right here, but we definitely want to watch this upper trend line, as it might give us some clues if we see a rejection off of this area to the downside. That could also give us other clues that could point to other cryptocurrencies as well. But what we want to see is the price of ADA get up back above this upper trend line and start moving upward, potentially even getting up above this upper trend line. But within the CCI, it has a very similar pattern to what we're seeing on XRP and XLM as well. So this will definitely be one to keep your eye on. Taking a look at HBAR, we can see that the price traded up to the upper trend line and has been trading below it for quite some time, moving in and out of the equilibrium zone, and is currently trading below the equilibrium line in the center, but is still trading within the equilibrium zone itself. HBAR is also exhibiting a potential bullish divergence right here, as you can see, having a similar pattern to XRP, XLM, and ADA, so this could also be a point of reversal. We definitely want to see it get up and above the equilibrium line, then moving to the top of the equilibrium zone and attempting to make another shot at breaking out up above this upper trend line. If we see the price break too far below this is going to be a bearish sign, and we definitely want it to hold this lower trend line. So that'll be something to watch for right there, to give you a potential clue of how the price action could unfold in the future. Taking a look at XDC. This pattern is very similar to what we just saw within the HBAR chart, with the exception that XDC is currently trading well below the equilibrium zone, but is finding a nice level of support right here on this bullish fair value gap centered about 0.069 area. It's also exhibiting a potential bullish divergence right here on the daily chart, with the CCI trading a little bit below the range of the previous charts. One thing you want to watch for with the CCI is the blue or the yellow line, or both, breaking up above this lower boundary into the colored area on the chart. Generally, if we see the yellow line move up into that area, that's bullish. Once we see the blue line move up, that's also bullish. But as you can see on different areas in the chart, what we want to see is the blue line breaking through the yellow line for a potential move to the upside. But this does look like a fairly weak bullish divergence right here, so we definitely want to see the price hold up above this lower trend line, and we definitely want this bullish fair value gap holding price. Taking a look at Quant. Quant formed a nice bearish order block right up here, came back down, was rejected off of it, and has been trading down within the equilibrium zone for quite some time, falling through it at about the third week of September, breaking to the downside, and giving us the second point for this well-defined channel that we have right here, of which price is trading within. We had a very nice move the last couple of days, moving to the upside, getting price back into the equilibrium zone. Much like some of the other charts, we want to see price get above the green equilibrium line in the center of the equilibrium zone, potentially getting above the equilibrium zone, and making an attempt at this upper trend line and potentially cracking this bearish order block. But having this well-defined channel right here, we have a pretty good idea where these boundaries are going to be, assuming price plays around in here for a little longer. We're kind of at a place in the market that's very hard to determine exactly which way things are going to go. But by watching a few additional charts, we may be able to derive information from a wider variety of charts to give us an idea what we're going to see over the broader market. But looking right here, currently, this does look fairly weak right here, like it might break to the downside again. But we'll have to see how it plays out. Now jumping over and taking a look at the XRP chart, you can see that similar pattern that we have right down here in the CCI. XRP formed this nice bullish divergence right here off of this point and has since broken to the upside. I actually have a nice long position on this that I'm still currently holding, which is well into the money. As it sits right now, everything is going exactly as we've been talking about, and there has been absolutely no changes. The wave 1 termination is still intact with the wave 4, and this wave 1-2 right here is still performing very well and looks to be breaking up into the third wave of the subwave of this primary fifth that you can see in the yellow right here. Now jumping over to the 1 hour chart really quick, you can see where the price bounced right here coming out of the subwave 2, moving up into what I'm assuming is the subwave 3 of the primary fifth, that as the price action came up, this was being used as resistance. Price broke up above this fair value gap, moved to the upside here, and we can see that it's now forming a base of support right in this area here. So we definitely want to see this hold moving forward. If it's broken, that could be a sign that we're coming down to this one, perhaps even lower. But as price has been growing up after bouncing off of this bearish fair value gap, price first came up, touched the 0.618 perfectly, pulled back, came back up, touched the 702 perfectly, pulled back, all bouncing off of that same support area, then came straight up here and touched the 786 and is now consolidating here. The target for this wave 3, assuming that my analysis is correct, would be anywhere between this area right here. I think there's a good chance we could see it come up here in this area, getting up above this upper trend line, but then it will have a fight on its hands right here with this bearish fair value gap, as well as the 1.618. But if it can get through this area, then we could absolutely see the price come up even higher into the range of the 2.618 range, which is resting right here at around $3.54. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's definitely in the cards, and it's definitely something I'll be watching for. If XRP does get up to this upper range here and has the strength to push through this area, as there's quite a bit of liquidity resting right here in this area, it could push up to this level, and there's also liquidity resting all over in this area. By jumping over to the liquidation heat map really quick, this is the 3-month. We can see there's a nice band of liquidity resting right here at about that $3 mark. Quite a bit resting right here at about $3.15. Some right about that $3.20 area. We have another thin band here at about that $3.30 range, with a wider band resting here at about $3.40, moving up to about $3.45, and even an additional band resting up here at about $3.68. But if things don't work out bullishly and this pattern fails for whatever reason, there is quite a bit of liquidity resting down in this area just right here at about that 264 range, 265 range. But it's fairly thin all the way down here until we get into this area sitting at about $2.35. So no matter how we look at this particular chart right now, most of the liquidity, at least the highest concentrations, are quite a ways away from the current price. But it does seem to me that the odds are leaning in the favor of finishing out this fifth wave to the upside, moving up for this upper liquidity first. But as I say, nothing in trading is guaranteed, so we'll just have to sit back and wait and see how things go. But one thing's for sure, I'm going to be putting quite a few trades on this. If you want to trade cryptocurrencies or you're looking for a place to swap your cryptos for cheap, check out BitUnex. You won't regret it. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Have a great day, everybody.